Welcome back, you filthy exiles. So I promised that I would level this build up, and I made a POB before the start of the league, and I really want to play it. As you can see, you sort of get a bit of an idea, and off the skill here, this is Doryani's touch, which is Thunder Fist. So yeah, this could be really cool. Now, right now, where this is currently sitting is this is like me doing a bit of a teaser preview of what this might be. I have no idea where this build's going to go. It could go absolutely in terrible directions, or it could end up being an actual decent build. But Thunderfist this league got a 1000% multiplier, right? From 600% to 1000%. And we got Calandra rings back in the game, which are in here. So if we use Doryani's prototype, basically we stack armor to deal with our lightning damage, and then beyond that point, we then do lightning resistance does not affect lightning damage taken anymore. Nearby enemies have lightning resistance equal to yours. So then we have negative Calandra rings, right? Negative 101% and negative 90%. So that's 191% negative resistance that we apply to enemies around us based on the Doryani's prototype. Basically, you do the math, it should hit like an absolute truck. Now, Ridgewall's Curse does work with Doryani's, funnily enough. So it does give me crit, right? So I have crit up to 30% right now, and that's going to go up significantly more as we level that up and we increase the crit multi and stuff like that with the POB and tree. So crit does work, so it's going to hit hard. Now, beyond that point, I think I'm going to use the Savalan. The reason why I want to use the Savalan is, number one, it gives me Lucky Block, which is great on the Gladiator, and you'll see in a moment. I have like no resistances without my flask being up. But outside of that, it really does make the Zerker pretty tanky compared to what it usually is. So the Lucky Block at 58% and 55% is more like 70, like 6%, 75%, and like 7 or maybe even like 80 something percent block for spell and attack. And then I'm thinking we use ward in this build to mitigate the rest of the potential damage taken. Then we stack armor, and then all we need to do is focus on fire and cold resistance and chaos resistance in the build. And we have like, you know, 2 sockets to do that, or 3 sockets to do that in gearing, so we can do that in the helm, the belt, and the boots. Now, I'm also thinking potentially that we could get rid of the mana cost by using Devouring Diadem, and basically run Eldritch Battery built into the build to do this. Could be really interesting. Not sure yet how we're going to do it. The other thing, because the Savalan's special unique attribute is beyond Lucky Block, is trigger a socketed elemental spell on block, we could stack a ton of shock, and the easiest way to do this would be Ball Lightning and Overcharge. And we basically get to 50% shock on enemies, and then we go and smash them with our fist. The other thing we could also do is Secrets of Suffering, and basically we could do even more damage. And on the boots, we can also put Brittle in, and since we can tank stuff, that's a big advantage. The other thing we could have, I think, Life on Hit might work on this, but I've got Culling Strike right now. So yeah, there's a number of things that we can do to basically get this build kicking and working. And I'm interested to see where it can go. Do I have a POB? Yes, I do. It's not perfect. It's really crude. This is currently like really early days. I have no idea if this is going to work. But just on this setup here, we get to 27% in Sandstance and 32,500 in our Blood Stance. So it is already hitting pretty hard on like level 8, 9, and 11 gems. No Awakened gems. And we do use Trinity. So the tree that I've got doesn't scale for resonance. And the other thing that you could do is technically you could put a replica Abyssus into the build if you could balance it well enough, and you could get it hitting like an absolute monolith. And say we had like any sort of resonance, like 20 resonance or whatever it might be, this could potentially hit really, really heavily. The other thing is there's no fortification in the build, and even on the chonky tree that's sitting on, it's got 82,000 effective hit pool, so it already outperforms a number of builds that have been put out by other players. The other thing we have is Smite proc in this build, so we get Temporal Auras from Smite, which could or could not be bad. I'm not entirely sure, haven't figured it out yet, but we're going to test it. Anyway, I'll show you some gameplay on the Blood Aqueduct. At the very end, I'll show you what it did to Merklab. Basically, just obliterated Merklab. Once you get to level 63, you can switch it in. And 67, you can switch to your rings and your prototype. But yeah, I'm interested to see where this build goes. If you want to see any more from this, don't forget to put comments in the thing and be like, hey, what the hell? I didn't know you could build this build. Anyway, let's test the build out, give you guys an idea of what it looks like, and you can determine for yourself if you think it's cool, and let me know in the comments if I should proceed building this out or if I should just scrap it and move on to something different altogether. Alright, aura time. So we basically just shield charge through, and then we go boom! And as you can see, it's not bad. Got a little work to go. So now we have temporal aura. Rather like it, and as you can see, it's really tanky. I don't know where that pop's coming from either. Man, once you hit it with that buff, it does do a hell of a lot more damage. There we go. So yeah, if you think this is cool, let me know below, and I'm going to try and build this out and get this build working. I have no idea if it's going to work. I thought I'd just share, since tonight I'm going to be probably live streaming Shield Crush, so I can get some currency up so I can fund this build and some further upgrades to Shield Crush. But yeah, anyway, if you like videos like this where we trial some Wayne and Zaki builds, Wayne and wacky builds, sorry, aka what I used to call and still call Bill's builds sort of stuff, don't forget to like and sub to the channel, and don't forget to follow the Twitch, and I will see you guys later on.